Most of my life we've lived several different neighborhoods, but when I became 21 and I graduated from nurse training, I had an opportunity to move into this neighborhood. My family was a family of 10 children, and my mother and father. We lived in a little small house in Hallville. So when I was in nurse training, I'd made up my mind I was going to help my parents get a house that was bigger than that little 4 or 5 room house that all of us were crammed into. So I thought, well, you couldn't live everywhere in Indianapolis, but they were starting to open up the housing market where you could kind of have more choice of where you wanted to live at. So I went to an agency, I think it was Lee Moody housing agency, to get some insight as to where we could move. And my father and I looked around a lot for different places. And I just fell in love with this neighborhood. The homes were big, and it was right on the streetcar line because I didn't drive a car, so it was just ideal for me. And it was like a little city over here. Not maybe a couple of blocks away, there was movie theaters, and there was the children's museum. It was real small. It was in the house, and there was cleaners and little variety stores. There was 2 or 3 grocery stores. I mean, within a couple of blocks, and it was just so nice. Even the drugstore was about a block and a half away. It was just like living in a little city. You know, different from where I'd been living. We didn't have that many places to go. So there had a lot of small businesses in Hallville, from which I moved from, but it was nothing like, this area. And the people were very nice. The yards were clean and the yard manicured, and flowers everywhere, because we moved in the summertime. And I liked that because I love flowers. Oh boy, me and my mother liked flowers too. So she always had lots and lots of flowers, and I learned from her about all the flowers, and I was putting them out. I really liked living in this neighborhood, and I still like living in this neighborhood. A lot of change has been made though. And it seemed like the neighborhood just changed. The stores and things started closing in about 10 years after, a lot of different stores after we moved here. But it didn't look like they just left a few at a time, and no grocery stores now, no cleaners. I think we got 1 or 2 not filling station, but well, that's what I call them now, gas stations. But so many businesses left it just made your life comfortable. But I still have hope for this place and our community. I think it can be rebuilt. And yeah, I like this area. Oh, my happiest memory, of course, was moving into the neighborhood. 53 years ago. That was great. I could build on that, and I'm still glad that I live here, and I try to keep my property up and try to work in the neighborhood so that other people can live happy and safe. When the funeral home that was across the street from me closed, and that was, that just took something away. I guess think, well, that's for dead people. But you live a long time or you live a short time, everybody's going to die. But when you know that there's somebody in the neighborhood that you can go to, not just for death experiences, but for other things. Because Joe Summers was very active in the neighborhood. And, he also was a council member. And now his daughter is. So, yeah, I was kind of sad when they moved out. A grocery store. I'm tired of going out of town and go to the store. A grocery store and we got a couple of pharmacies, and they're real nice. I like the pharmacy we have. But there was neighborhood pharmacies where the pharmacists that owned the drugstore also lived in the neighborhood, and that made it nice. Because you became, you knew those people, began to kind of, know who they were and were acquainted with them. I remember some people they were Maddie and Elmo Coney. They were very active in the neighborhood, and they're the ones that really, inspired me to stay active. And they had the neighborhood cleanup, and they gave us flowers to plant and gave us all kind of tips and things to do to keep your neighborhood nice. They were a very great couple. But that was some years back in the early 70s when that was going on. They even had a system where we could get our house painted. And I was glad, because I didn't always have enough money to do all that. But I did get my house painted a couple of times through that organization. I thought it was great. But at one time, I was the owner of a daycare, and I've always offered my daycare after hours, for anything that people might need for meeting or for sharing with the children. Or I never forget one time, we had a neighbor who put a block party. I mean, we had a block party, but lots of times we'd have block party. But this was the block party over all block parties, and everybody had a great time. We had people from other neighborhoods. It was really, really a very successful event. And we had Christian rap and Christian music, and we had face painting and dancing, and we had the police out with the truck so that children could see it. And it was just a lot of fun. We had a lot of pictures taken of that, and it was really nice. We didn't know, it was just me and my daughter that were doing it. And between the three of us, my daughter, myself, and God, I know it was a great success. And I'll never forget that experience. Oh, be a good neighbor. Be a good neighbor. Care about your neighbors. Look out for your neighbor. It's just all right to stay in your house and this is mine and that's yours. But it's good to look out for your neighbor, because that's going to keep your neighborhood in good condition. If everybody looks out for everybody else. I mean, I don't mean go over there and meddle and see what they're doing, but I mean looking out for them and keeping crime down. Okay, the crime watch, I've been crime watch captain a long time, and that is important.